Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do another fun painting, so let's get started. We'll start off today with a 2-inch brush and a little bit of yellow. And we'll come right about here and drop in a nice sunset. Just drop it right in. Work out, add a little bit of orange so it gets a little bit darker as it comes out. There we go. Let it come out to about there. Now we can grab a little bit of red. So now we have yellow and red. And with that, we can work right around the yellow. Let them blend together. Just a little tiny bit of red. I don't want too much red today, but I do want to kind of cover up that edge where it stops. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now I'll add a little bit of blue to that red, and that makes a nice purple color. And we can drop that right up here, right in all that white area. Kind of cover it up. There we go. Now when you mix up this purple, don't put too much blue in it. It's real easy to put too much blue in it. Just a little bit. Maybe we want to grab a little bit of black. Make those corners very dark. You can do that, just that easy. A little bit more red. And go right over here. And we can even think about some clouds, just using the corner of that brush. With a clean 2-inch brush, we can very lightly blend out the sky. Now look at all these dark and light areas I left in there. I like those. I don't want to ruin them all. If you blend this too much, you'll destroy all those little things in there, and you'll have a flat sky. I want a lot of variations in my sky. So I'm being very careful here not to destroy them all. I just want to soften them, blend them out a little, and then leave them alone. There we go. And be careful not to take this dirty brush and drag it through that yellow. See, I'm only staying in the darker areas. If you do that, you'll kind of muddy up that yellow. So avoid going down in that yellow. We'll blend it in just a second with a clean brush. We can take a clean 1-inch brush through a little bit of white paint. And right here, I want to brighten this area. See that? Add a little bit of white and then let it work out. What this is going to do is make it look like the sun is right around in this area. Very bright. And then let it kind of fade out as you come away from that bright area. Maybe even have it drift up into some of those clouds and things up here. There we go. With a clean brush, we can very lightly blend away this bright area. Very, very gentle, kind of a feathery stroke there. If you blend this too much, you'll lose it. Just want to soften it. There we go. And you may be wondering, this is a brand new brush, that's why it looks different. The other ones are old and they're stained. This one's brand new. There we go. Then give the sky a final blend very lightly. Just enough to make it all even. Now I'll take a fan brush through a little bit of white and a tiny speck of purple. And with that, we can highlight the top of a few of these clouds. I don't want much, and I don't want them pure white. Just a tiniest little bit. There we go. Maybe some hits the bottom of this cloud up here. So you can do that just by pushing up. See that? And highlight the bottom. There we go. Just pick out a few clouds, Add a little highlight. Maybe a tiniest little bit on this side too. Back to a clean brush, and we can very lightly blend out the bottom of this highlight. Just a little. And there wasn't much paint on the canvas. I didn't put these on very thick, so this doesn't take much to blend them out. There we go. When you have the bottom of the clouds done, then you can lift up to fluff them very lightly. And then blend across. With a gray color on the fan brush, we can drop in a little mountain back here. I really don't want too much detail. Just a little, mostly a shape. There we go, that's enough. Kind of fill it in. We'll have a closer mountain. We'll just see this one in the background. With a little bit of brown and black on the knife, we can add in a larger mountain right up here. Figure out what kind of shape you want, and then just drop it in. It's not a big deal. You can make it whatever shape you want. And then we'll kind of fill in the bottom there. The main thing is that it's very dark. With a clean 2-inch brush, we can grab that mountain and pull it. This makes it look very soft at the bottom. It also removes a little bit of paint, which helps later. There we go. Let it get very misty toward the bottom. With a little bit of brown and white on the knife, we can add the tiniest little bit of highlight to this mountain. Now we don't want too much, just a little. And I want very little pressure as I pull down because I want that breaking in there. If you push too hard, you won't get any breaking at all. So if you're not getting all these holes in the paint, then don't push as hard. It'll probably fix your problem. There we go. You can even add a little bit of white to that, lighten it up a little. It'll change it up for you, just a little. And don't overmix your colors. Leave all the variations in there. It'll make it look a little bit more detailed without really doing much. Now I've added a little bit more white to that same color. And we can add some extra highlight here. So now we have a nice dark highlight and then a brighter highlight. This must be done extremely light because now we have more paint on there. So it's a greater chance of mixing. But I really think by having all these color variations really makes your mountain look more detailed. So spend a little extra time and put some of these in. They're really worth it. With a dark brown on the knife, we can add in some shadows. This is slightly darker than the original base coat, so it shows up nice. There we go. Look at all that contrast you get. I really like having a lot of light against dark in my mountains. There we go. Anywhere there's a little bit of highlight, you can stick a shadow in there. Maybe there's a little bit of snow up here that hasn't melted off yet. So we'll take that knife and drag a little bit of white down. Don't overdo, just a little bit. Mostly at the top, although you can have some a little further down. With a little bit of blue and white, we can add some shadow up here. Not very much. And really only where you put the snow. There we go. Back to the 2-inch brush, and we can very lightly mist out the bottom of the mountain. We have a lot of detail in this mountain, and I don't want to lose it all. So be careful not to tap too high. Don't come up too far into this mountain. Just a little bit on the bottom. And when you're happy with that, then give it a little blend very lightly. Very lightly. There you go, that's enough. Now I've mixed up a nice light green color. And with that, we can add in some pine trees back here. But look, there's very little detail. See that? It's mostly just the top shape that I'm worried about. Just drop them right in. And you can even vary the colors, grab a little bit more green, throw in some black. Just change it up if you want to. Back to the 2-inch brush, and we can tap out the bottom of these trees. I just want to soften the bottom, make a little bit of mist. Very similar to the way we did the mountain. Now before we go too far, I want to add in a little bit of water. So we'll just go like that. Tiny little bit. Remember, the water's not blue, it's reflecting what's in the sky. So that means we'll grab a little bit of red now. Just very lightly blend it all in. With a little bit of black and green and blue on the 1-inch brush, we can come right back over here and tap in some trees. Using only the top corner of that brush to push them in. Just worried about the top. Back to the 2-inch brush, and we can grab the bottom of those trees and pull down. This creates some very nice reflections. Turn the brush and go lightly across to blend them. There we go. And same over here, except maybe over here, we'll add some dark to the brush. There we go. Just reflect those trees right into the water. Then blend lightly across. With a little bit of blue and white on the fan brush, we can come back here and pull a little waterfall down. Maybe this is a little stream back here, and it kind of falls over. And it even falls over again. There we go. With a little bit of brown, we can clean up the edge of this bank right here. Just add a little bit of dark color. And same on this side. With a little bit of brown and white on the knife, we can add in some highlight to these rocks. Just let it run right down. Very little pressure. Let the paint break. With a little bit of yellow and green on the 1-inch brush, we can drop on some highlights to those trees. Don't want a lot, and I do want to leave most of the dark. Just tap them right in. Back to the dark green on the fan brush. And right there. I want to make a big pine tree. So I'll give myself a line and gently work back and forth, creating your little limbs. With a little bit of yellow and green on the fan brush, we can add on some highlight to these trees. Just a little bit and leave a lot of the dark in there. So important. Back to the 1-inch brush, and we can highlight these bushes to finish out the painting. Just a little bit of highlight. Leave a lot of the dark. With the liner brush and a little bit of brown, we can add in a dead stick right up here. It's important to make your paint very thin when you do this. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out my website and now my DVDs for sale. I'll put those links below. And thanks for watching.